When you're first teaching vowel consonant E words, check the child's level of understanding. A young new reader will need different instruction than a child who's seen this syllable type many times. However, all children need to understand that E jumps over one consonant, only one consonant, to make the vowel say its name. Many children have memorized a lot of vowel consonant E words by the time they get to first or second grade, but that doesn't mean that they've internalized the pattern, and it can also mean that they have difficulty going back and forth between that long vowel sound and that short vowel sound. On the syllables chart, you have a way to be able to practice those by tapping across each vowel. You see those here.
I want to show you some of the instructional strategies that we use in the Brain Friendly Reading Program that work really well. And I just want to make sure that we've touched on these pages and what's on here and how to use them. You have your teacher box that has a little bit of an explanation and your puzzle words. Now remember, those puzzle words your kids might already know because they're included in some other part of the curriculum you're teaching. But if you're tutoring, it's important to make sure they are learning their puzzle words. I often include this work at the end. And there was some conversation in my group earlier today about how to teach puzzle words or heart words. Some people call them heart words. And I love the heart word program. I refer to them as puzzle words because I'm a Montessorian at heart. And that's what we call them in Montessori. And they're just words that have to be taught directly because they don't follow the rules. We go from simpler, more familiar words, again, to more complex. And over here, you have an opportunity to teach another skill if you want to teach the skill with an S on the end. You have many, many sentences to practice from. You put this page down in front of a child who's a struggling reader, and you say, okay, let's mark and read our sentences. If there's 7, they might crater. It's okay to use this as your teacher reference, to pull these sentences off of this page and just to even write them on a strip of paper and let the child, I don't have a strip of paper, but one of the strategies that I like to use is just to write the sentence on a strip of paper or onto a piece of paper, but I like a strip of paper. And then let the child go in and find the parts of the words that have where the E jumps over and makes the A say its name. And they might mark them. And you might have other marking strategies you want to use. That's okay with me. And then the child can come in and read the sentence. Can the ape, ave, and they can arm spell their word to read it, to me. Now this means that I have taught this puzzle word. If I haven't taught that puzzle word, I can't give that child that sentence, okay? You might have other resources that have vowel consonant E words in them, but just make sure that whatever sentence you're giving to the child, every piece of it, the child has practiced, okay? So that's here for you, and so is this part where the child gets to go back and forth between the short and the long, mad, made, pan, pain. I'm going to show you a game how to play those. This is the game, the I have, you have game. Your next vowel consonant E page, you notice we included really 2 lessons on one page because there's just not so many vowel consonant E words that don't have a blend at the front. So you have your I words and you have words here that have S, and then here's your O's and your plurals, and then over here is the tricky bit where O-R-E says or instead of O-R. All right, so that is a piece for them to be able to do. Then over here, they get to go back and forth looking at words that have A or O or I and being able to read all of those different parts. And here we're introducing again that S says Z in these words. So that's that connection. That you can work with these sentences first. You can have them read and mark these sentences on strips. You can do cut up sentences with these words where they have to rearrange every word in the sentence. And then you come to here. An administrator who's running a part of the pilot program, who's working with a 5th grader, told me she had the 5th grader read all of this. The 5th grader did really well. So she said, well, read this. Come down here and read these. And when she got down here, she was missing the vowel consonant E's all over the place. I asked her how she did with these, and she said she did fine. She's had so much single word reading with vowel consonant E. She did really well, but she couldn't transfer the skill to the sentence. Transference is a big issue with children who are dyslexic. They know the skill in one place, and when they get to use it in a different place, they fall apart. I told her, go back to these and use these first. Have her work with the sentence in more than one way. Mark it, read it, cut it up, make it a cut up sentence, and have her put it back in order so that she's having a lot of experience with reading these individual sentences repeatedly. You have another I have, you have game here. And then we go to U consonant E. Now, U consonant E makes two sounds. These are really hard for children to distinguish sometimes. They're hard for grown-ups to distinguish. U consonant E, flute, oo. U consonant E, cube, U. Oo and U. Both of those sounds are important for children to be able to hear, primarily for spelling. That when they're reading one of these words, they might need to use oo or they might need to use you. But don't go crazy if it's difficult for them. Spending a tremendous amount of time trying to distinguish between these two, like with doing word sorts and whatnot. I've had kids who've never been able to do it. And we just move on and keep coming back to U consonant E work. There's a little bit of S, says Z. And here is E consonant E. Guess what? There are hardly any words that are E consonant E where there is a single consonant in the beginning. Now, I did include these, but remember, these blends aren't taught yet. So if you're going to use these, make sure those kids know those sounds. Here are small chunks, tiny phrases for the children to practice reading. Use your instructional strategies with those sentences and the same thing, where the children get to go back and forth between the short and the long. This is also here because you might decide that you want to make your own Go Fish game, and or I have, you have game. In the book, you have a Go Fish game for U consonant E, and then you have another Go Fish game for the words that have the vowel RE pattern. Okay? So here's what I have, you have looks like. It's so simple. And it's incredibly powerful. You have a deck of cards, and in your deck of cards, you have words that have the short vowel and words that have the long vowel. And you have matches. Mutt, mute. What is tub going to be? Tub, tube, kit, kite, dud, dude, cute, cut, mad, made, us. Here's one. Us, use, mop, moat. Now notice this one has it all mixed up. All the vowels are included. This would be like a review activity, but this one was actually made for a girl who is severely hearing impaired. And the way that Elaine helped this child was by having the vowel be in a different color. So notice that that is something that you can do that helps the children to be able to identify what the vowel is. Do you have to do it? No. Another way to help the children identify the vowel is on our games is to have them underline the vowel or have them mark the vowel consonant E or have them come into the pre-made games and highlight the vowel. All of those are perfectly reasonable. Notice she used a picture because for this child, her understanding of what cut meant needed to be developed. This helps with vocabulary for a child who needs that support. How you play this game is like this. You have your stack of cards. You deal out Johnny gets 3 and you get 3 cards. And you can have ice cube trays again. And Johnny puts his cards up on the ice cube tray. And Henry has his cards up on the ice cube tray. And it's Henry's turn. And he says, I have cute. Do you have cut? And she's going to look and see, does she have cut? No, she doesn't. Now, when he can't read cute, we could mark, E jumps over and makes you say its name. We can put it on our arm, cute, and help him to get cute. The bigger problem for kids when they play this game is they can't get what they can read cute, but they can't figure out what the other word that goes with it. So we just cover the E and say nothing. And we teach the child to cover the E. I have cute. Do you have cut? Nope. All right, I got to go fish. Now I've got this one. I have tub. Do you have tube? Nope. I have to go fish again. And she says, I have slid. Do you have slide? Nope. Go fish again. And you just keep playing until you've made all of the matches. And if a child is out of cards, they draw a card to stay in the game. So let's pretend like they did. And now it's my turn. And I'll say, I have used. Do you have? And then I have to remember that you doesn't say you. It says I can have my chart out to help me. You, umbrella, us, us. I have used. Do you have us? I do. So I get a match. That's the I have, you have game. And there's using it for this particular skill set with vowel consonant E going back and forth is incredibly beneficial and really helps to solidify the two different syllable types for the child.
So you can use our flip cards again as another instructional strategy with vowel consonant E, just like we do with open and closed syllables. These can be made with a lot of different kinds of cards. Here we have CVC and vowel consonant E, and the child reads cop and cope, and maybe they want to read tube and then tub. It doesn't matter what order they do it in. If you want to get really fancy, you can make one of these that starts out with no and then not, and then note. It's a little piece of origami. Globe, glob, globe. That also works.
And the last thing that I wanted to show you is just this. This is just a bingo game. Early on when I was teaching, I would make bingo games for kiddos to take home. And I would include whatever the skill was that we were working on. And then in the bingo game, I would include outliers or words that didn't fit the pattern that were puzzle words. So if you make a bingo game for a child to play, just be mindful that you can include their puzzle words into their bingo game or into whatever other game it is that you are teaching the child.